All right, brother. From there, let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 20, and let's start at verse 5. Because you notice, all the lunar Sabbath day keepers, they do not go to these scriptures. They do not go to these scriptures and justify what happened. All right, 20 and 5.
All right, this is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 20, verse 5.
The moral of the story is when David was going to keep the new moon. Okay? All right, read.
And David said unto Jonathan, Behold, tomorrow is the new moon.
Tomorrow is what?
The new moon.
All right, because we got Israelite brothers and sisters that keep the lunar Sabbath. They say the moon determines when the Sabbath day is. We just read in Genesis earlier, it said the moon was created on the 4th day and the Most High hallowed the 7th day. All right? The 7-day cycle never ever changed. Do your research. Do your history. We don't have time to go through all that history and research with the Gregorian calendar and the Julian calendar. The 7-day cycle never changed. Just days changed. October 1st through the 4th, then it changed to the 15th. It was Wednesday the 4th, then it jumped to Thursday the 15th. But the 7-day cycle never ever changed. You can't find it changing throughout the scriptures or in history. All right? Read verse 5 one more again.
Verse 5, well, this is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 20, verse 5. And David said unto Jonathan, Behold, tomorrow is the new moon.
Tomorrow is the new moon. Read.
And I should not fail to sit with the king at meat. But let me go, that I may hide myself in the fields unto the 3rd day at even.
And to the 3rd day. That's the key point. 3rd day. You're going to hide for 3 days. Remember, the new moon is coming. Tomorrow is the new moon. The lunar Sabbath say the new moon, and then 7 days, that's your Sabbath. Let's see, did David, did he make a mistake? Let's see, did David make a mistake? Did he go off somewhere and make a mistake? All right, let's jump to verse 18. 1 Samuel 20 and 18.
This is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 20, verse 18.
Okay, read.
Then Jonathan said to David, Tomorrow is the new moon,
right,
and thou shalt be missed.
He's going to be missed because his father, Saul, wanted to kill David. All right, read.
Because thy seat will be empty.
His seat is going to be empty. Jonathan knew that. All right, he knew his father was looking for him. Okay, read.
And when thou hast stayed 3 days, then thou shalt go down quickly.
3 days. 3 days. We're going to keep that key. 3 days. Okay? Read.
And come to the place where thou didst hide thyself, when the business was in hand, and shalt remain by the stone. Ezel.
All right. Now jump to verse 24. Read the whole thing on your own. If you really think we're going to bounce around, read the whole story on your own. Because you got to do your own research. All right? We got brothers and sisters that keep the lunar Sabbath. We love our brothers and sisters, but we got to go with thus saith the Lord. Thus saith the Lord. Because the lunar Sabbath, it make it look good. Oh, look at it. Is this feast day fall right in line with this feast day and this day? Ain't no such thing as no double Sabbath. It sound good, look good, but what look good is not always good. All right? We can eat some nice food, it look good, but it's not good for our bodies. All right? Jump to verse 24.
Verse 24. So David hid himself in the field, and when the new moon was come,
when the new moon had came, read.
The king sat him down to eat meat.
So they finna sit down and eat at the new moon feast. All right? Read.
And the king sat upon his seat, as at other times, even upon a seat by the wall. And Jonathan arose, and Abner sat by Saul's side, and David's place was empty.
His place was empty on the new moon, day 1. All right? Read.
Nevertheless, Saul spake not anything that day, for he thought, something hath befallen him. He is not clean. surely he is not clean.
Read.
And it came to pass on the morrow, which was the 2nd day of the month.
Hold on. Which was what?
The 2nd day of the month.
Which was the 2nd day of the month. The people that keep the lunar Sabbath, they say, here's the new moon. Then after the new moon, here's day 1. Then day 2, 3, and then 7 days is the Sabbath. Right here, after the new moon, it was the 2nd day. The new moon didn't have its own day. So that just kills it right there. That kills it right there. Read 27 again.
Verse 27. And it came to pass on the morrow, which was the 2nd day of the month.
2nd day of the month. Not the new moon, then the 1st day of the month. The 2nd day of the month. Read.
That David's place was empty. And Saul said unto Jonathan his son, Wherefore cometh not the son of Jesse to meet, neither yesterday nor today?
Neither yesterday or today. Not the 1st of the month or today. Alright, with the 2nd day of the month. Jump to verse 34.
Verse 34. So Jonathan arose from the table in fierce anger, and did eat no meat the 2nd day of the month.
It's the same day. The 2nd day of the month. Alright? It's still the 2nd day. Read.
For he was grieved for David, because his father had done him shame.
Right. Now keep reading the rest of this on your own. We're going to jump over to the next one. Let's jump to 1 Samuel chapter 21 and start at verse 1.
This is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 21, verse 1.
Read.
Then came David to Nob, to Ahimelech the priest. And Ahimelech was afraid at the meeting of David.
Right. Read.
And said unto him, Why art thou alone, and no man with thee? And David said unto Ahimelech the priest, The king hath commanded me a business, and hath said unto me, Let no man know anything of the business whereabout I send thee.
Right, because David was hiding. He didn't want to tell all his business what was going on. He didn't want to tell him the king was trying to kill me. Right? Read.
And what I have commanded thee, and I have appointed my servants to such and such a place.
Right, read.
Now therefore, what is under thine hand? Give me 5 loaves of bread in mine hand, or what there is present.
Right, because now you're starting to get hungry. You hiding for 3 days. You need food for you and your men. All right, read.
And the priest answered David and said, There is no common bread under mine hand, but there is hallowed bread. If the young men have kept themselves at least from women.
So they knew, the priest knew, if you kept yourself from women, keeping the law, right, then you can eat the bread. You just can't just do what you want to do. The Most High got everything planned for every individual. You just can't be running around doing what you want to do. The Levites had certain things that they had to follow. All right, they just can't be giving bread to anybody. The homeless and all of that. They had an order that was set up. Finish reading.
That was the end of 4, go to 5.
Yep.
Verse 5. And David answered the priest and said unto him, Of a truth, women have been kept from us about these 3 days.
See, women been kept from us for these 3 days, so we can't eat this bread. Read.
Since I came out, and the vessels of the young men are holy, and the bread is in a manner common. Yea, though it were sanctified this day in the vessel.
It was sanctified this day. We're going to find out what day that was. All right, read.
So the priest gave him hallowed bread, for there was no bread there, but the show bread that was taken from before the Lord, to put hot bread in the day when it was taken out.
The day
taken away.
Taken away. Let's find out what day this is, and let's get the law on this day. They just can't be cooking bread any day of the week. You just can't be cooking and doing what you want to do. Leviticus chapter 24 in verse 5. Let's go to Leviticus chapter 24 and verse 5. We're going to find out what day was that. All right? Could they just be making showbread any day of the week? Or the Most High had a plan for what days had to be done on what days? Read that when you got it, brother.
All right, this is the book of Leviticus, chapter 24, verse 5. And thou shalt take fine flour, and bake 12 cakes thereof.
Right.
2/10 deals shall be in one cake. And thou shalt set them in 2 rows, 6 on a row upon the pure table before the Lord.
Read.
And thou shalt put pure frankincense upon each row, that it may be on the bread for a memorial.
Stop right there. I just said earlier, you just can't do what you want to do. The Most High got everything set up in an order which it shall be done. You just can't be saying, okay, I ain't gonna put no frankincense on here. I'm gonna put some cake from some cake icing on here. The Levitical priests knew they had to follow the law the way it was taught and told to them. All right, read.
Even an offering made by fire unto the Lord.
Right, read.
Every Sabbath.
Hold on. When was this made?
Every Sabbath.
No, they wanted to make it on Thursday because it was a couple days after the new moon.
Every Sabbath.
Every Sabbath, the showbread was being made. All right, read.
Every Sabbath he shall set it in order before the Lord continually.
Continually. All right. Now let's let Christ confirm it, because maybe we just making this up and we taking things out of context. Ain't that what they say? Y'all Israelites like to take scriptures out of context. We going precept upon precept, line upon line. Here a little, there a little. Back to Matthew chapter 12. Let the Bible be true and every man a liar. All right? Remember, the new moon and 3 days went by. Let's see what them 3 days, what that third day was. We said it was the Sabbath day. So you got the new moon, 3 days, and a Sabbath. I thought it was eight or 7 days. You use the moon and then 7 days later. Why are they keeping the Sabbath 3 days after the new moon? Why is that? Let Christ explain it. Let him confirm it. Because we got people saying, oh, that wasn't no Sabbath. Read that. Start at verse 1 again.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 12, verse 1. At that time, Jesus went on the Sabbath day.
So this was a Sabbath day too. All right, read.
Through the corn, and his disciples were an hungered, and began to pluck the ears of corn and to eat.
Right, read.
But when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto him, Behold, thy disciples do that which is not lawful to do upon the Sabbath day.
Read.
But he said unto them, Have ye not read what David did when he was an hungered?
Have you not read what David did when he got hungry, him and his men? Right, read.
And they that were with him?
And they that was with him, the men. Right, read.
How he entered into the house of God and did eat the showbread.
Eat what?
The showbread?
No, hold on. He ate what?
The showbread?
He ate the showbread that we just read in Samuel chapter 21. All right, read.
Which was not lawful for him to eat, neither for them which were with him, but only for the priests.
Only for the priests, read.
Or have ye not read in the law how that on the Sabbath days?
But on what?
The Sabbath days.
This was what day?
The Sabbath days.
This was on the Sabbath day. Read.
The priests in the temple profane the Sabbath and are blameless.
And are blameless. All right. So Christ confirmed what day that was after the third day. It was the Sabbath day. And for you people that say there's no double Sabbath, there you go. You got your Shabbat one, which is the feast, new moon. 3 days later, you got your regular Sabbath. There's your double Sabbath. There's no lunar Sabbath. There's no transitional days in the Bible. Prove that it's transitional days in the Bible. Did David keep transitional days? Did Solomon keep transitional days? Did Christ keep transitional days? You adding to the scripture. We only do this because we love our brothers and sisters that is in this truth. All right? We know some of us get mixed into all of these doctrines and want to teach the deep mystery. keep it milk. Keep it milk. The milk gonna get you the kingdom. Just say if I'm wrong. Say if we wrong. Saturday is not the Sabbath. Say if we wrong. Right? Say if the Sabbath is determined off the moon. Say the day the Sabbath fall on a Wednesday this month. I'm breaking the Sabbath. I'm working. Your boss is not gonna, let's say, hey, today Wednesday, I gotta keep the Sabbath, boss. Can I get it off? You think you're gonna get every Wednesday off this month? No. Next month is on Thursday. You think you're getting every Thursday off? No. So you can only keep the Saturday Sabbath once every 6 months. So you only keeping the law once out of every 6 months. Is that pleasing the Most High? All right, I hope somebody was edified with this video. We are nations of kings and priests. I'm Brother Ruben, and by my side,
Brother Mahar.
And with that, we're going to say shalom.
Shalom.